The rain began as a whisper and then turned into a roar, the kind that makes the world feel smaller and lonelier, the kind that pushes people toward doors they never planned to knock on. That was the night everything changed for me, the night two soaked silhouettes stood under a flickering streetlight, clutching a single torn umbrella, their eyes full of exhaustion and fear. When they finally spoke, their voices trembled with embarrassment and hope as they explained they were sisters, stranded, with nowhere safe to go, and they said they were only going to stay one night. I remember the way the question formed in my mind before I could stop it, not with desire but with disbelief at the weight of responsibility suddenly placed in my hands, a quiet, stunned thought that sounded like, both of you, at once? If you believe that kindness still matters in a world that often turns its back, if you believe in second chances and unexpected moments that change lives, take a second right now to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs hope, and subscribe to the channel, The Kindness Chronicles, so more stories like this can reach hearts that need them. I was not a hero that night, just a tired man with a small apartment above a closed bookstore, a man who had learned to live carefully after life taught him how quickly trust could be broken. My place was barely big enough for me, with one bedroom, a narrow couch, and walls that held more silence than memories. Yet as I looked at the two girls standing there, hair plastered to their faces, shoes soaked through, hands red from the cold, I felt that familiar inner struggle rise again, the battle between self-protection and compassion. I had closed my heart once before and paid for it with loneliness, and now here it was again, asking me to choose. They followed me upstairs quietly, not because I demanded it, but because they carried the same unspoken fear I did, that one wrong move could shatter the fragile trust forming between strangers. I handed them towels, made tea with the last of my sugar, and offered the couch and the floor mattress I used when my back hurt too much. That night passed with the sound of rain against the windows and the soft breathing of people finally feeling safe enough to sleep. I lay awake longer than I should have, staring at the ceiling, wondering how I had become someone others turned to in their worst moments when I barely trusted myself anymore. Morning brought light and reality. The sisters explained their story without drama or exaggeration, how they had left a bad situation thinking it would only be temporary, how one mistake after another had led them farther from home, how pride had kept them from asking for help sooner. One of them carried anger like armor, sharp and defensive, while the other wore guilt on her face, apologizing even when she did not need to. I recognized both because I had lived with both inside me at different times in my life. Listening to them was like hearing echoes of my own past, the nights I had slept with fear instead of blankets and hope instead of plans. The real challenge did not come from sharing space, but from sharing uncertainty. One night turned into two, then three, not because they asked, but because the world outside kept closing doors faster than they could knock. Every extra day felt heavier, filled with unspoken questions about money, boundaries, and how long kindness could last before it turned into resentment. I struggled silently, working longer hours, skipping meals, telling myself that doing the right thing should not feel this hard. Some nights I stood by the window, watching people hurry home, wondering if they knew how fragile safety really was. Slowly, something unexpected happened. The apartment that once felt empty began to feel alive. Laughter slipped into the corners where silence used to sit. The sisters helped in small ways at first, cooking simple meals, cleaning without being asked, finding part-time work, refusing to be burdens even when their exhaustion showed. I watched them rebuild themselves piece by piece, and without realizing it, I felt something in me rebuilding too. The fear that had once ruled my decisions loosened its grip, replaced by a quiet pride I had not felt in years. There were setbacks, of course, moments when stress boiled over, when misunderstandings threatened to undo everything. One sister almost left after a harsh argument, convinced she was not wanted, while the other broke down, admitting she was terrified of failing again. Those nights tested me more than the first storm ever did. I had to decide whether kindness was something I only offered when it was easy, or something I stood by when it demanded sacrifice. Choosing the latter did not make me feel strong, it made me feel human. Time passed, and opportunities finally appeared. A shared apartment closer to their work, a chance to start fresh on their own terms. The day they packed their bags, the room felt quiet again, but this time it was a peaceful quiet, not the hollow one I used to know. They hugged me tightly, not as guests thanking a host, but as people who had survived something together. Watching them walk down the stairs, I realized that helping them had not cost me my peace, it had given it back. Near the end of this story, I want to ask you something from the heart. If this journey moved you, if it reminded you of a moment when someone helped you or when you wished someone had, please like the video, share it, and let us know you felt it. Your engagement keeps stories like this alive and reaching others who might be standing in the rain right now. Before this video ends, I have one special request. Comment a single line that represents kindness to you, whether it is a word, a promise, or a memory. Your words might become the light someone else needs. Because sometimes, all it takes to chong.